More breaking news coming in. The Prime Minister today used the opportunity in Bihar to tear into the opposition's charge over changing the constitution. This, in fact, happened while the Prime Minister was addressing a rally in Bihar. In fact, he slammed the opposition and accused it of indulging in fear-mongering. The Prime Minister now saying that making constitution first is going to be the resolve of the Prime Minister if the BJP comes to power. So the Prime Minister once again lashing out at the opposition after a few parties claim that the BJP will change the constitution if voted to power in the Lok Sabha elections. And now the Prime Minister taking this fight to the rallies as well, and all that, accusing the opposition parties of indulging in fear-mongering and spreading lies with these repeated comments and remarks. In fact, the Prime Minister had even given an interview to ANI. He addressed this issue in that interview as well, where I quote him and saying that when I say I have big plans, no one should be scared. I don't take decisions to scare or run over anyone. I take decisions for the entire development of the nation, rejecting the charges of the opposition against the Prime Minister and the BJP of changing the constitution if they are voted back to power. So that's the latest counter coming in from the Prime Minister after opposition leaders, including Rahul Gandhi himself, has claimed that the BJP will change the constitution if at all they are voted back to power for the third time. So that's the big news coming in right now. The Prime Minister, while addressing a rally in Bihar, once again taking on the opposition, lashing out at them and saying that all that they do is spread lies and false news, fake news, indulge in fear-mongering to deceive the people, to deceive the electorate, and he has no intent whatsoever. He, in fact, if voted to power, has only the welfare of people and the development of the country in mind. So the Prime Minister taking on the opposition over the constitution change remark. Payal joins us now for the very latest. Prime Minister Payal once again slamming the opposition on this particular subject. They have in the past accused the BJP of changing the constitution, but the Prime Minister not taking things lying down and lashing out at them, saying that they're indulging in fear-mongering.
Well, absolutely. The Prime Minister making it very, very clear that they are here to govern for the people and they are here to work for the cause of the people. And that is exactly what the BJP has done in the last 10 years. There have been several remarks that have been made about the way in which the BJP has compromised institutions, whether it's the ED, CBI or even the Election Commission. That, of course, has not gone cut any eyes to the people because, Avantika, the voters think otherwise.
Yes.
And they have, in fact, brought in a bigger margin from 2014 to 2019 as far as the BJP is concerned. And Prime Minister, in fact, has been at the forefront. So the Prime Minister over there said that it's the nervous opposition which is actually trying to create a lot of fear amongst people. They're trying to sort of create a narrative which will not last too long because their work is to work on the ground, work for the cause of the people. And if you remember that the Prime Minister has been extremely critical about, people who've made these kind of comments. And I remember very distinctly that, BJP's leader from Karnataka, Anand Kumar Hegde, had made a similar comment about the constitution, which is, of course, rubbish by the BJP leadership. And in a way, after that, he was dropped, as a candidate. So actually, that's the kind of seriousness with the BJP has been acting, and they've been saying that they are here to work for the cause of the people. They've been decisions that have been taken for nation's development, for the development of the people. And there are so much, there's only so much that the opposition probably can do because they're actually scared that they probably will be rejected by the people's court once again.
Indeed. Aman and Pallavi Ghosh are also with us. Payal, stay on with me. Aman, it's interesting how the Prime Minister has countered the opposition by giving a spin, saying that this election, in fact, is not what the opposition is saying, but to punish those who are actually against the constitution.
Well, yes, Avantika, and the Prime Minister is very clear that it is only due to this constitution of B.R. Ambedkar that a poor man from humble background like Prime Minister Narendra Modi could become the Prime Minister of the country. Mr. Modi is very, very clear and he says we have to work within the realm of the constitution. There is no plan. Nobody needs to be scared. Of course, constitutional changes have been carried out earlier also and multiple times, in fact, by the Congress governments in the past. So constitutional amendments are a separate matter, but there is no wholesale plan to change the constitution. The Prime Minister calling it fear-mongering. In fact, on the day the manifesto of the BJP was released, a copy of the constitution was kept prominently on the stage, and that was also a signal by the BJP, to show that, they believe totally in the constitution, and this campaign being run by some against the BJP that, if they get 400 par for the NDA, the constitution will be wholesalely changed. That is false. A few BJP leaders, as Payal was mentioning, have made some loose statements which Congress has latched on to, but the Prime Minister is very clear. In fact, he says the war is against corruption, the war is against people people who have been corrupt. Even in the rally in Patna, the Prime Minister has come down very, very strongly on the RJD, saying this is the same party which caused the fodder scam, in which they have their chief, Mr. Lalu Prasad, has been convicted multiple times. So the war of the Modi government is against corruption, and even at the manifesto function, Avantika, the Prime Minister was very clear that the war on corruption will become even more stronger and stricter in his next term. He's strongly defending the agencies, be it the CBI, be it the ED and the IT, also saying that all these laws under which these agencies are acting were actually formed by the former Congress governments, be it the PMLA or the Amendments to the Prevention of Corruption Act. The Prime Minister is very clear that there is not even a speck of allegation of corruption against his government in the last 10 years, but the opposition leaders and the opposition parties who have indulged in corruption will be brought to book, and these people are not even getting any relief from the courts, which shows how good the investigation, how solid the investigation of ED, CBI and IT has been.
Indeed. And Pallavi, BJP MP Anand Kumar Hegde, as Aman was saying, did face the act. He was in fact pulled up for his comments. So why is it that, the Congress repeatedly has been accusing the BJP of scheming to change the constitution?
Well, we also have to understand why is it that the India Front Alliance was born and why was it called India as an acronym. The reason was very simple, that this is the only part, the coming together, an alliance which represents the true spirit of India. And according to the constituents of the bloc, they say what does India symbolize? Inclusivity. There's no difference going to be made among people on the basis of caste, religion and creed, and accusing the BJP of precisely doing the opposite. They're making a differentiation, making the people vulnerable, those who are already vulnerable, and also that how the BJP seeks to divide people, and at the end of the day the constitution is being compromised or being shed and changes are being made. This is in terms of the ED, CBI being misused, the judiciary, the election commission, all the institutions which are the pillars of democracy, and all of them have now become subservient to the government. This is the argument which is being given by the opposition parties. Therefore, it is no surprise that no matter what clarification comes in from the Prime Minister, whatever may be the narrative on the BJP, the India bloc is not going to give up on their narrative. After all, that's the fulcrum or slogan with which they are approaching the people, and of course making the point that, if you really want to save democracy and the constitution of India, it has to be done only if you vote for the India bloc. And very quickly, Avantika, the BJP Sankalp Patra or the manifesto was specifically chosen on a day of the Ambedkar Jayanti to make the point that the BJP actually doesn't want to change the constitution. It respects the constitution, and that's the biggest tribute we are giving to the father of the constitution.
Oh, indeed. And that's what the Prime Minister reiterated rather firmly during his rally in Bihar. Let's just listen to what the Prime Minister had to say and his counter to the opposition's BJP to change constitution charge.
ये जो संविधान इतना महान बना है, ये जो संविधान हमें देश को आगे ले जाने की ताकत देता है, इस संविधान को बनाने के लिए जो संविधान सभा थी उसमें 80-90% से भी ज्यादा, 80-90% से भी ज्यादा सबके सब सनातनी थे, और उन सनातनियों ने इतना उत्तम संविधान बनाने में बाबा साहब आम्बेडकर का साथ दिया है। और इसलिए हकीकत तो यह है कि देश की आजादी के बाद संविधान को राजनीति का हथियार नहीं, संविधान को श्रद्धा के रूप में जन मन में प्रस्थापित करना चाहिए था। और हमारा देश ऐसा है जो रामायण में आस्था रखता है, महाभारत में आस्था रखता है, गीता में आस्था रखता है, वो आज के युग में संविधान के प्रति भी उतनी ही आस्था रखता। लेकिन आपने संविधान का राजनीतिकरण करने की कोशिश की है। हमने संविधान के प्रति आस्था पैदा करने के लिए लगातार कोशिश की है। जब पार्लियामेंट में मैं ये प्रस्ताव लेकर के आया कि हमने देश में संविधान दिवस मनाना चाहिए, तब कांग्रेस पार्टी के नेता श्रीमान खरगे जी ने पार्लियामेंट में उसका विरोध किया था। उन्होंने कहा था अरे 26 जनवरी तो है, संविधान दिवस की क्या जरूरत है?